Daughter Disney podcast. My name is Amanda. I'm here with my very lovely mother.
Hi, I'm Janette.
And today we are going to be ranking the 14 quick service restaurants in Epcot. So we are ranking all of the quick service restaurants and the quick service kiosks. So this is not including the snack the snack kiosks or the bar lounge type places either. This is what Disney classifies as quick service restaurant or quick service kiosk. So we have 14 here. I'm going to read them off right now in alphabetical order, and then we're going to rank them from 14 down to 1. So first up, we have Connections Cafe, Connections Eatery, Crepes à l'Emporter à la Crêperie de Paris, Festival Favorites. So this is in the Communicore Hall where they do the festival stuff between the UK and the Canada Pavilion. Katsura Grill, La Cantina de Saint-Angel, Les Halles Boulangerie Patisserie, Lotus Blossom Cafe, Pizza Al Taglio. All honesty, this is like never open.
It's been open this summer.
Yeah,
people
I know.
Have been
I feel like every time
you
you go, it's like never open when we go. Refreshment Port, Regal Eagle Smokehouse, Craft Drafts and Barbecue, Summerfest, Sunshine Seasons, and finally the Yorkshire County Fish Shop. So what is in your number 14, Mom?
My Yorkshire County Fish Shop.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fish eater, especially not fried fish.
That's okay.
So that one is my number 14. I don't think I would ever stop and get fish there.
In my number 14, I have the Crepes à Emporter by La Crêperie de Paris. So La Crêperie de Paris is actually the sit-down restaurant, and they also have a quick service restaurant that's part of it. Disney says, delight in sweet crepes or savory galettes inspired by the Brittany region of France. I hope I said that right. Brittany region of France at a new eatery just outside La Crêperie de Paris. This mainly serves crepes. My dad is trying to sneak inside right now, so I don't mind if you can hear him walking around. And I do not like crepes. I have never liked crepes. I'm not a crepe person, honestly. Every crepe I've had, I dislike. So I'm just not a crepe person. There's nothing in this world that will make me eat a crepe again, honestly. I just don't like crepes. It's just a personal preference, honestly. I would rather just have a pancake. Like, I think I would prefer the Asian fluffy pancakes versus the European crepe, the thin, tiny little pancakes. I just like something with more fluff to it, I guess.
Okay.
But I do not like crepes. I don't like the texture, and I think they have a weird flavor. So I would never eat a crepe personally. So that is why I put them in 14 over some of these other options, which I also would not really eat anything at.
I was going to say some of this stuff, I'm surprised you put that above the fish.
That is how much I don't like crepes.
Okay.
That they were going in 14. I'm sure the crepes taste great here if you like crepes. I'm just not a crepe person. So, all right, what's in your 13?
My crepes.
The crepes.
I'm not a crepe either, but I would rather have a crepe over fish. So my 13 was the crepes. As much as I don't like crepes, some of the stuff on that menu, if somebody said we're going to go eat over there, I would say, okay, and I'd probably try one. It's not like I have a very bad aversion to crepes. I just don't really.
Yeah, I would literally just say no thanks.
Really? No.
That is how much I don't like crepes.
Yeah, no, I don't have that much of an aversion to them, but I would never go out of my way to go have one. So
whereas in my 13, this is where I put the Yorkshire County Fish
see,
Shop.
we just had him.
So Disney says, stop by for the finest British fare this side of the pond. Savor battered fish served with piping hot chips, plus enjoy refreshing soft drinks and draughts. Beer including Bombardier, Amber, and Harp Lodge. This mainly serves fish and chips, as you can imagine. Yeah. But I put this higher than the crepe place because I would at least get the chips, like the French fries.
Yeah, but I can get chips anywhere. That's why I put that all the way at the end.
But I'd rather have chips than the crepe. So that's why they got 13.
No, I don't know. I think according to the crepe, I might take a crepe over chips.
I don't
sometime.
know. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I just really don't like crepes, so I think we're just gonna be down.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. What is in your 12?
Okay, 12 is another reason why. See, I'm a fussy eater. Number 12 was the refreshment port.
Yeah, 12 is also my
which has
refreshment port.
poutine.
Which is mainly poutine.
I'm not really into putting all that stuff on top of my French fries or on top of my stuff or whatever. I like my stuff separated. I don't like it all in one big mass. So I looked at the menu and I said, this is why we never eat there. We just pass it right by.
Also, I'll say refreshment port. So Disney says, take a break from traveling the globe to enjoy a variety of treats, savory and sweet. Sink your teeth into one of the specialty poutines or indulge in a tasty soft serve ice cream. Refreshing beverages are also available. Then they mainly serve poutine. That is what they're known for.
That's their main stuff.
But depending upon the festival going on, they will also serve festival food too. So it really depends on the festival and what they're going to have. So I did also put them pretty low down because I don't eat poutine. I've never really had poutine, if I'm being super honest, because I don't eat meat. So
yeah, I've had it. It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, so I've never really been a poutine person, but I do like French fries. And sometimes during the festivals, they will have desserts that I do like at the festival, but it's depending on
a regular
the
menu.
On a regular day, I would not go to refreshment port. It would really depend what the festival we're serving, and usually it's because some kind of dessert is at the festival. Right. Like I remember, I think at one point they had a cookie that I really wanted at refreshment port, so I got it from there. But other than that, I would not go to refreshment port based on its everyday type of menu too. So, but good to keep a note that always make sure you check the festival menus because you never know.
Yeah, because they do have extra stuff on different seasons.
Yeah.
But as a restaurant itself, that's not one of the ones I'd be running to unless it had something that I looked at in one of those those little books and said, "Ooh, that looks interesting.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go find
So,
it." Yeah.
All right, what is in your 11?
The Summerfest.
Yeah, I also had Summerfest.
Because it has pretzels. So pretzels are not something I run to either. I find my snacks are usually more not a pretzel itself, but I do like their pretzels. So if I had to buy a snack, then I would go to Summerfest. But I would not put it as one of my first choices. If I was going to find something to eat in a quick service, pretzels would not usually be.
I guess this is also a good point to point out that Summerfest, Refreshment Port, Yorkshire County Fish Shop, and I think also the Crepes Porter are all considered the quick service kiosks, which means they just have a smaller menu than the quick service restaurants.
Oh, okay.
And it also
That's probably why they're at the end of my thing, because when I looked, there
Yes.
was other things to pick from.
And it also means they do not have a dedicated seating area. So the quick service restaurants will have usually a bigger menu and like a place to sit for that quick service restaurant, where
you
these
can find
ones
it, right.
are considered kiosks. Like for instance, the Yorkshire County Fish Shop is just next to Rose and Crown, and there's no dedicated like seating area. You would just
It does have a little area next to it, like down by the water,
but
with
that
a
is
couple
not
of tables.
considered,
It's not just dedicated
That's
to
what
them,
I'm saying.
but
It's not dedicated.
Yes,
It doesn't have that
anybody
dedicated
can
seating
go and
spot.
sit there.
Neither
yes.
does Refreshment Port. It's literally just next to the Canadian
Right.
Pavilion. There's no place really to sit in that entire area, for being honest.
Oh God, yes, you're just walking by it.
Yeah, the
right.
Crepes place too, they do have seats as well that's like kind of near the bathrooms that you can of course sit by. So I would say like again, seats that are close, but it's not dedicated to the
not
Crepe
dedicated
place.
to them.
So that's kind of the difference between the kiosks and the restaurants. So Disney says about Summerfest, snack on Deutsch delicacies at this walk-up eatery at the World Showcase, from bratwurst with sauerkraut to jumbo pretzels, German beer, and wine. So again, they mainly serve a beer here, but they do have bratwurst.
Even
and
bratwurst
pretzels.
would interest me if I was in the mood for it. Maybe one day, that's probably the only thing in Germany that would actually
But
take
being
my
honest,
attention.
that's like the only two things on this menu to eat. It's the bratwurst and the pretzel, and then a lot of beer. So a lot of different beers to
I don't
try.
drink beer, so that doesn't entice me.
I'm not a big drinker in general. So again, it is considered a quick service kiosk. So that's why their menu is a little bit smaller. I have heard this is one of the best pretzels in Disney World.
Oh,
in
is it?
general.
Okay, well,
it gets
I
rated
would think
very
so.
highly.
It should be if it's in, over there by Germany.
Yep. So it gets rated super highly. So we definitely should try that pretzel one day. I would
One
say
day we'll have to get one.
it's hard because when you're in Epcot, as we know, again, there's like 22 sit down restaurants, and again, there's 14 quick
Oh
service.
God, there's so many places to eat.
So there's a lot of options for food in Epcot that it is hard when you're there for
and
one day.
we do have our favorites.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard when you're there for one day to be like, all right, what are we going to eat today? And you just end up going to your favorites. It's hard, but all right, what is in your 10?
Sunshine Seasons.
Okay.
Sunshine Seasons, because it has a wide variety of stuff, but really all we actually really ever do there is to go get a drink, sit down and take a rest, and maybe a bag of chips or something like that. They do have a wide variety, though, if you want cookies, if you want a brownie, if you want food, if you want stuff like that. So I put it at number 10.
Yeah, for sure. All right, my number 10, this is where I have Connections Cafe. So Connections Cafe and Connections Eatery are in the same location. They're like back to back to each other, but they are considered two different quick services. So it is a quick service restaurant. Disney says delight and a tasty treat when you stop by for Starbucks coffee, specialty beverages, and Disney baked goods. This is mainly a coffee place, but they will have other pastries and like little breakfast sandwiches type items.
Right.
So I put them pretty low down because one, I do not drink coffee. I don't drink any drinks, if I'm being honest. I mainly only drink water when I'm in the parks. And they do have some fun pastries. So again, depending upon the festival, sometimes they will have a fun pastry or two. So I will say the pastries would be fun to go to, but I do feel like the line is always very long in Connections Cafe. And it's not always the line, it's the people waiting to get their drinks that's very long. So always make sure you look over to see how many people are waiting for their drinks.
Because you can get a
that's
simple
the
drink,
long
it takes
one.
forever.
Yeah, that's the one that's long. Especially if you're only going to get like a black coffee, for instance, and
I usually
everyone else
just
is
get
getting
black tea, right?
Yeah, everyone else is getting, these fancy lattes and stuff like that.
Right.
And it's like, you're going to wait a long time for your simple drink. And that's just the way it is, at Starbucks. But yeah, but I rate it low. I don't drink coffee. And I do like a lot of pastries and stuff. But I will say if I was going to get a pastry, I don't think I would go to Connections Cafe as my number one spot for a pastry. So, all right, what is in your number 9?
Festival favorites, because they had pierogies on the menu.
Yes,
that was
they
about the
do.
only thing I looked at and said, "Oh, I like pierogies." So festival favorites was one. If I was walking around and needed a snack, a pierogi is a nice little snack. So that's why I put them at my number 9.
Yeah, for sure. In my number 9, I had the Regal Eagle Smokehouse, Craft Drafts, and Barbecue. Although, honestly, I feel like maybe I would put Festival Favorites as number 9, but that's okay. I'll just keep it the way I did it before. So, yeah, so Regal Eagle, Disney says, sink your teeth into mouth-watering barbecue at this new eatery in the American Adventure Pavilion. This is one of the newer quick service restaurants that opened in Epcot, and it is the only, quick service restaurant or only restaurant type area in the American Pavilion as well. The American Pavilion is the only pavilion without a sit-down restaurant.
Right.
So they only had
All
this
they
quick
did was
service.
upgrade their original restaurant.
Yes,
of
and they also have a
hamburgers
few
and
other
frankfurters.
little snack kiosks as well. So they have a lot of barbecue on this menu. I'll say they do have a very extensive menu overall, from ribs to brisket. The plant-based option is a barbecue jackfruit sandwich. I don't think I would like that personally. Honestly, I've never been a big barbecue person, which is kind of funny because I do like barbecue sauce, but I don't know. But even before I went somewhat plant-based. I was never eating a lot of barbecue, but they do have a mac and cheese in the kids menu that looked pretty good. So I feel like I would get that if I was going to eat here. But yeah, so that's Regal Eagle though. So I feel like if I ate meat, I probably would love this. And they do get very high ratings. People say that their
they
food
say
is
the food
very
is good. We have not eaten there because, like I said, we're not going to stop there if you're not going to eat. So.
Yep. So food and drinks is supposed to be great here. So definitely would recommend it if you like barbecue. But again, I do not eat barbecue. So all right, what's in your number 8 then?
Katsura Grill, because I don't particularly eat Japanese food, but they do have tempura. And tempura, to me, if I wanted a light lunch or a light snack or something, tempura does interest me because it's just fried. It's a very, very light batter fried fish, which is very good. So I put them at number 8.
Yeah, for sure. So in my number 8, this is where I had the festival favorites. But again, I feel like I could have put that in, like, I could have switched them or something like that. So the festival of favorites is a stand, basically. It's an indoor area that's between Canada and the United Kingdom Pavilion. And they are always having ever-changing things because it really depends upon the festival. So Disney says, stop by this casual eatery to explore an ever-changing menu filled with popular dishes from various Epcot festivals. So that's why I kind of put it number 8 because I feel like depending upon the festival, I would go here, but it really depends.
Right, depends on what kind of food.
Right now on their menu, they are the ones with the frozen s'mores drink, which is why I think I put them before Regal Eagle because it sounded really good when I looked at it. I do love s'mores. I've been going through a s'mores phase the last few years. I go through food phases in my life, and s'mores has stuck around for 2 years, so good for s'mores. I feel like I would get that, so I think that's why I went before Regal Eagle. But yeah, so that's kind of why I put it there. But I mean, like, I think they are indoors too, so I guess you get some indoor seating as well. That's the same with Connections Cafe. They do have a nice indoor area.
Right.
So.
Sometimes we just go in there to get a drink just so we can sit down and get cool or get warm or whatever the deal is.
Yeah. All right, what is in your number 7?
Mine's Connections Cafe, because I do like Connections Cafe because I do like Starbucks black iced tea. I like plain, unflavored, unsweetened black iced tea. And if I need a pick-me-up or some kind of caffeine, that's what I really go for. So that's why I put it at my number 7. I don't do it as often because, like you said, it's a long line. By the time you have to wait for just a plain black iced tea for everybody to get their fancy drinks, which I don't drink, it is annoying. But if I really want an iced tea, that's where I go to get it.
Yeah, for sure. In my number 7, this is where I have Katsura Grill. So this is in the Japan Pavilion. Disney says, quiet your mind and your hunger in this serene setting as you listen to the sound of distinct taiko drums. Enjoy teriyaki, sushi, chicken cutlet curry, salads, and more. They also serve draft beer, sake, and plum wine. So yeah, their menu is a pretty big mix.
It's also in a pretty area.
It is, yeah. The menu is a pretty big mix of sushi, udon, teriyaki, and different types of soups. So they do have a pretty good Japanese menu overall. I put them kind of in the middle here because I do like Asian food a lot, so I would definitely eat here if I wanted to. I will say I wish they had a vegetarian ramen because I do like ramen. Most ramens usually are made with chicken or beef or something else in it.
I don't like ramen.
But, I do like ramen. It's funny because ramen is such an interesting, right? Because you're basically drinking soup with like pasta in it. It's like
that's
pasta
what it is. It's soupy pasta.
It's like a strange thing.
I
don't know. I do like ramen a lot though. But yeah, I wish they had a vegetarian ramen because I feel like I would try that. But I think ramen is also hard because it is a hot dish and Florida is usually pretty hot. So I don't really know if I want to be eating this hot soup in like a hot environment.
Maybe in January.
Yeah, I don't know. So it kind of depends. But yeah, I do like the idea of Katsura Grill. And again, their environment is really pretty too.
Yeah, it is a very nice area.
All right, what's in your number 6?
I have the Regal Eagle.
Okay.
Because I am a meat eater. And some of that stuff does look very good. The barbecue stuff, the hamburgers, the barbecue ribs, the whatever they serve in. It does look very good. So I think we have not eaten there, but if I had to go there, I think I have this stuff that I could definitely try and enjoy.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, and my number 6, this is where I have the Lotus Blossom Cafe. Disney says chow down on Chinese favorites like pot stickers, egg rolls, orange chicken, chicken fried rice, Mongolian beef, and more. Then take your taste buds on a trip with some ginger ice cream with an exclamation point. Plum wine and beer also available. So their menu is a pretty varied Chinese menu of fried rice, noodles, and pot stickers. However, their menu is very meat-based, I would say. There is not that many vegetarian options on this menu, and because of that, they're a little bit lower down. Now, I would get their vegetarian noodles that they do have here, so that's something I would consider. But overall, though, I wish they had more vegetarian options at this quick service because it probably could be at my number 1 if they did, but they don't, unfortunately. The festival booths at the China Pavilion usually have the vegetarian options instead, but of course, we are doing the quick service restaurants today, so Lotus Blossom Cafe. Although I do love the atmosphere of Lotus Blossom Cafe. It is not indoors, but it is covered, and I do like the overall area of the China Pavilion. I think it's really nice to sit in, so I do like that as well. So just a personal preference there.
Popular spot for us to stop and have a drink by the time during the middle of the day when it's hot or it's whatever, to sit there and have a drink and watch the people go by, and you're right by the Chinese gardens.
That's what I'm saying. I like the area a lot, but again, it's like a lot of meat on that menu. Yeah. We need to add some vegetarian options. All right, now we're to our top 5. Super exciting. What's in your number 5?
Connections Eatery.
I also have Connections Eatery in my number 5.
I think they have a nice selection of food.
They do.
If you wanted to go in and sit down, they have lots of seating. They have a nice selection of food if you just wanted to eat something simple and not have like a sit-down dinner kind of thing. I thought that when they finally redid that whole area and did that Connections Cafe, I think they did a very Connections Eatery. I think they did a very good job.
Yeah, so this is on the other side of Connections Cafe. Disney says take your taste buds on a tour around the world with dishes inspired by Italian, French, and Asian cuisines. They serve all different foods, from burgers to pizzas to pastas, and on the dessert menu they have like a bubble waffle right now. So yeah, so lots of food, very varied, indoors, which is super nice. Lots like big clean bathrooms. So yeah, I do think Connections Eatery is pretty nice. So.
Yeah, I think that's right there in the top 5.
Yeah, I think that was a great upgrade to the electric umbrella. I know a lot of people really love
electric
the
umbrella
electric
we used to go in there a lot when you were kids because
Yep.
they had like a simple kids menu and they had hamburgers and chicken fingers or whatever.
It's like an upgraded version
yes,
of the
this
electric
is
umbrella.
very nice.
Yeah. Although I do like the aesthetic of electric umbrella. Kind of miss the aesthetic of
cute.
that.
Yes.
But Connections Eatery definitely is a nice
Yes.
upgrade. All right, what's in your number 4?
The pizza.
I also
place.
had pizza
If
al
it's
taglio.
open, which
Yep.
it has been open over the summer, I'm hoping maybe it'll be open when we're there, to have lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I do like the pizza in Italy. And I do like I like every area. We could sit anywhere and I just make myself happy. I like the pizza. So it looks really good too when people are showing the pictures of when it's open
Yeah.
and they're showing the pictures of the
That's what I'm
slices
saying.
of
It's
pizza.
a shame that it's like closed a lot. So
I know. I don't
really
understand
know.
why, but yes, that was at my number 4. If it's open, I like
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
why I also put it number 4. Because if it's open, this would be such a highly rated one. Pizza al taglio is how you would say like pizza by the slice in Italy. So it's pizza at the cut is technically what you're saying.
Right.
Disney says swing by World Showcase in Epcot for authentic Italian pizza paired with a glass of rich wine or simmering cocktail. They serve pizza, beer, and wine. They also want to note too that Pizza al taglio and also the Festival Favorites booth are the only 2 that do not accept any dining plans at all. So all of these other quick service restaurants and kiosks will accept usually some form of a Disney dining plan.
Okay.
But these 2 are
We
the
don't
only
ever
ones
use the
that have
Disney dining
no
plan.
Disney dining
Yeah.
plans
Okay.
whatsoever. So just keep that in mind in case you go here. I guess the pizza can't be a snack credit or a meal
Right.
credit. I'm not really sure how that works necessarily, but yeah, so too big to be a snack, too small to be a meal. So, but if this was open, I feel like this would be so great, and I feel like it should be open all the time.
All the
So
time.
I feel like people
I'd
would
get a
love
piece
to
of
just
pizza
get
every
there.
time we went to Epcot.
Like, I
for
guess
lunch.
maybe they can't always keep up with the influx of people who like want slices of pizza or
Maybe.
something. I'm
I
not
don't
really
know.
sure, but who knows, honestly. I do think it'd be fun if they had, this open more frequently at the very least. All right, what is in your number 3?
French bakery.
Okay, so Les Halles Boulangerie Patisserie. I do not know how to say that,
Yes,
so sorry
I
everyone.
figured why even bother trying. I like the French bakery. French bakery because I have to be in the mood for it, but when I am in the mood for it, it definitely has what I want. They used to
Yeah.
have my favorite cookies. They don't have them anymore.
Yeah,
so,
they used to have the angel wings or the elephant ears or the
people call them,
palmiers.
yeah.
Officially, they're called palmiers, I believe.
Yes,
but-
palmiers, right.
yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah,
At
since
night,
COVID, they limited their menu a bit,
Yeah.
but their menu is still pretty expensive.
it's still pretty expensive, but they have taken out a lot of stuff that I would have liked to have. I do love their sandwich, the ham and cheese, where they warm it up. For years, I didn't even know they did that. I thought you just ordered it and got it and whatever. You have to ask them to warm it up. But when they warm it up,
Sometimes they offer, do you want it to warm it up?
yeah, they never
So
did
It depends on
before
the cast
that.
member that you
and
have.
I went with a friend one time, and we just happened to, I went down to Florida with her because she was building her house, and we went down there and we went into the bakery. She ordered it hot, and I said, "You can get that hot?" And she said, "Yes." They put it in the thing, they heat it up. Oh my God, we had it hot, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm in love with this sandwich." So if I can't get the pizza, I want that sandwich for lunch.
All right, and my number 3, this is where I have Sunshine Seasons. This is our only one that I feel like we have drastically different. Like
Really?
Sunshine
Okay, that's the
Seasons is
only
so low
one,
for
yeah.
you, and I have it so high for me. So Disney says, harvest the goodness of the greenhouse and the land pavilion, exclamation point. Dig into a bountiful selection of fruits and flavor and fare. So they serve breakfast, lunch, and snacks, and their food really ranges from different Asian foods to salads. They have salmon, they have pizza to tacos, so lots of different foods. Now, this is actually why I like Sunshine Seasons, because they do have such a huge area and selection of foods you can get. It's fully indoors. In general, I love the land. It's just one of my favorite areas of Disney World. I like the smell of the land too. Every area has its own smell. I do love the smell of the land in itself. And also Sunshine Seasons is known to have a lot of really great desserts as well in their little bakery section.
That's what I said. Yeah, they do have
They will
cookies
have-
and brownies and
Yeah, they have
cupcakes
very
and-
unique things
Yes.
there that are not anywhere else in Disney World. So that's why I also kind
I
of
don't
like
eat a lot of
Sunshine
sweets.
Seasons too. So we don't always eat here, but we do often sit down in the area. So I
Yes.
definitely say to do that. Another little fun fact is that in Sunshine Seasons, 4 sections of tables out of there are all themed to the seasons, to summer, fall, winter, and spring.
I didn't realize that.
So when you're there, look at the table, and on the table in the winter section, there's like a snowflake pattern. I think in the spring section, it's flowers. The
How did I
summer
not know that?
is
Okay.
a sun pattern, and the fall is fall leaves. The carpet on the floor too is also themed the same way, where the carpet is also supposed
Okay, when we're
to
coming down that
reflect the-
escalator, I gotta
also
pay
supposed to
attention
reflect-
next
see,
time.
that's what I'm saying,
Okay.
it's a very
See, that's what I
subtle-
mean. There's so much going on.
It's a
Okay.
very subtle little difference, but
Really?
if you just
Okay.
sit down and you don't think about it, you just think all the tables
Usually
look
I'm
the
so
same.
tired that I just want to sit down
Yeah.
and have a drink.
So if you really look at the patterns
Okay.
of the carpet and the table, you'll say
Wow.
like which
I didn't
season
know
are you
that.
sitting in,
Okay.
which I think is really cool.
I learned something
and
new.
that also reflects to the balloons in the air too, because it's the
That
fall
I know.
balloons,
Yes, the
so
different balloons.
the
That
different
I know because
seasons
you're
of
paying
balloons.
attention to
Yeah.
those when they're there. Okay, cool.
But yeah, but I do overall like sunshine seasons, and that's also like the sunshine. Like there's those rays of the rays. There's the tapestries of the yellow tapestries. It's supposed to be like the sunshine.
Right.
So that's what it is. You're sitting in the sunshine of the seasons, which I think is really cute too. So overall, really like sunshine seasons. Some great options there as well. And also, if you want like healthy options too, a lot of healthy options.
They
to
do
it.
have,
yeah,
yeah, a
lots of
couple of
fresh
healthy
stuff.
things,
So.
yeah.
All right, now we're down to our final two. I feel like we both know what each other's final two are. So
Well,
what is
no,
your...
because well, you know what my final two are going to be because I haven't used
I
them
think
yet.
we're going to
but
have the same number two. So
Is the La Cantina?
yes, La Cantina de San Angel is also
Angel.
my number two. Yes,
That's my number two because we love to stop there. We love to get the guacamole and chips. We love to just sit there in that section with the water and the things and just enjoy because it is good. It's very good. And by the time we think about it, we say, where do you want to go for a snack? And that's the first thing that comes into our mind is let's go there. So that's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, so Disney says munch on Mexican favorites by the World Showcase Lagoon, including tacos de barbacoa and piñatas con queso and guacamole, along with treats like churros and traditional fruit popsicles. Also enjoy draft beers, margaritas, and Mexican sodas. So lots of Mexican food here. Really ranges from
really
bowls
cool,
to burritos
cool,
to tacos.
fresh, really good.
Yep, to nachos, to even churros too if you want something sweet. I think they have one of the best menus overall for all the quick service restaurants. So
They
very
do.
varied menu.
Because you
lots
can
of
get
food
something
on
light,
there.
you can get something heavier, you can get, drink with it. I mean, I got to tell you, it's very nice.
Yep, all the food is always served so fresh, so hot. It's so good, honestly. We often get the chips and guacamole like my mom
They do have a
said.
nice section.
So good.
They also have a nice way of getting the food too. Like when you're online,
Yes,
it goes very
efficient.
quickly and very efficient. And I got to tell you, it's a nice experience.
Yes, they do have seating. It is fully outdoors, but most of it is covered. And when you get there, if you kind of go all the way to the back and to the left, there is some more tables all night, like sneakily that are back there. And also you're sitting right along the World Showcase Lagoon, which is so
Right,
lovely.
which is really
honestly.
cool.
I love sitting right along the World Showcase Lagoon. It's always so fun. Great for people watching the birds. The birds will eat your food if you
Yes,
let
you
them.
got to be careful.
You do need to protect your food.
Got to
a
be
little
careful
bit.
everywhere these days. The birds will take it right out from under you.
Yeah, but I do really love this quick service restaurant. Definitely one of my favorites. And
That's why it's always crowded.
yeah, we should definitely try the nachos one day because we've actually never had their nachos because we always get the chips and guacamole.
We also get, we should try. We should sit
we
down
should
and have a
try the
lunch.
nachos.
Usually we just get that for
I was gonna
snack.
say, we get a snack, but
Yeah,
it's like,
usually
maybe we should plan for lunch.
usually by the time we
Yeah.
get back to that area, we're down like to the afternoon when we know we're not eating dinner for a while and we just want a little snack.
Yeah, so maybe we should get, definitely maybe the nachos or something.
Plan to
'cause
go
they
for
look
lunch
so good,
one day.
Honestly. I love Mexican food. That's one of my favorite genres of food is Mexican. So I could eat anything Mexican food most of the day as long as the vegetarian is the only thing. So love La Cantina de San Angel is, I feel like, very popular too.
Yes.
Especially one time we went, we did not realize it was May 5th, which is Cinco de Mayo. So we were
God,
there.
yes.
And I remember my mom saying like, oh, it's too crazy in Mexico. We're going to China. And then I told her, I was like, oh, well, I guess it makes sense. Today's Cinco de Mayo. Everyone wants a margarita.
Everybody wants a
Everyone
margarita.
wants
The
chips and
margarita line, which
guacamole.
you can get margaritas across the way too,
Yeah,
right
like a
next to the
kiosk,
pavilion.
yeah.
That line is always long. I do not drink margaritas in the
Yeah.
middle of the day because poor Amanda would be dragging me through the
Right.
park the rest
I'll
of
never
the day.
forget when me and my fiance we were walking through, and it was pretty early in the morning. Like it was only like it was right when the World Showcase opened, so it was like 10:30, 11, and there were already people in line for the margaritas at like 10:45, and I'm like, oh my god, who needs their 10:45 a.m.
I
margarita?
gotta tell you, if you're out there in Florida and you're on vacation, it's time to start drinking.
Yeah, and like that's people waiting because I don't think they can legally serve you until 11 until they officially open.
Yeah.
So there's people just waiting in
Waiting
line
there.
for 15 minutes to get,
Get their margarita before they start walking around.
Good for them. That is
Yes.
the way you should be doing.
Yeah, I
Disney.
can't do that anymore. When I was younger, I could do that. I can't do that
I know
anymore.
we're not doing Disney, right? We got to get online for our
Yeah,
margaritas.
no, I wait till about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon to say to Amanda, we're going to a bar so we can have a nice little
Yeah, just to
cocktail and
sit
relax.
down.
Yeah.
All right, and now we've made it to our number one. So
Well, we
what-
all know which one mine is.
Yep,
it's
your number
Lotus
one.
Blossom.
Yep, the Lotus Blossom.
That's the one
Cafe
that's
is
left. And
yours.
I love Chinese food, and I love their dumplings and their egg rolls are some of the best I've had anywhere.
Yeah.
So I look forward to just sitting and relaxing and having egg rolls and dumplings and just satisfying my Asian taste.
Yeah, no, definitely great. Again, I do love Lotus Blossom Cafe. Again, it didn't make my top 5, but just because it doesn't have vegetarian
Doesn't have
options.
vegetarian for her. I'm
But
a meat
if we
person.
included like the festival booths in there, it would be much
Yeah.
higher because the food that they have is always so good. That's the thing. The veggie dumplings I had at the last festival booth were the best veggie dumplings I've ever had in my whole life.
That's
You
what I
only
mean.
get
Their
2 of them.
dumplings are out of this world. I don't know how they
Yeah,
do them
so
or what they
good.
do, but they're delicious.
And I wish those were part of Lotus Blossom Cafe. Like, why are they not like staples? I think that's just so wild.
Right.
So I don't know. So it's just one of those things. But I do love Lotus Blossom Cafe as well. But that means in my number one, this is where I have the French Les Halles Boulangerie Patisserie.
Right.
Disney says samples delectable treats and tempting delicacies at this traditional French bakery, from soups and salads to fresh baguette sandwiches and pastries. Champagne, beer, and gourmet coffees are also available. Bon appetit. So yes, they serve a variety of sandwiches sandwiches, salads, pastries, coffee, espresso, champagne, wines, and beers. So there's a lot going on at this tiny little
and
quick
they have
service.
very little seating. That's
They
the
do.
only problem.
That's my biggest critique about this is that the indoor seating is very limited.
Considering
and there's
they
not a lot
have
of
such
outdoor
a
seating
crowd,
either.
because that place has always got a line snaking through it.
Because they have some of the best food. Like their food there is so good.
But they're so tucked away in that back corner, they didn't have much room.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't plan for how good the food was going to be and how much
They need to
people
take
wanted
away
eat
that
there,
little shop
but-
next to it, because half of it is seating and half of it is a little shop. They need to take away those little shops and put them someplace else, that merchandise someplace else, and make that all seating, because I'm telling you, it is always packed.
For sure. But the food here, honestly,
very
is
good.
so good. I will say, so if you see something on the menu that you want, and I think last time I got the cheese and egg on a croissant, and it came with bacon, and I just asked her to take the bacon off, and she just whipped that bacon into the trash. Let me tell you something.
Took it off, threw it right away.
Right into the trash, that bacon went, and she heated it up for me, and it was so good. That croissant was absolutely amazing. Such an amazing croissant, one of the best I've ever had. And again, some people will literally just
Making me
buy.
hungry.
I know, some people literally would just buy the French baguette and they just eat the French baguette.
Right, yeah, you see them. They just
That
sitting
is-
with the butter and the French baguette.
Yes,
Just,
that is
you know.
very popular in
Yes.
France too. You just buy a baguette and just eat
Right,
your
just
baguette
sit and have
down the
some
street.
bread and butter.
Yeah, absolutely love that for the French.
I wish
feel
they had
like-
more seating, because that's one of the reasons why I would not think twice about having breakfast there or having dinner there. But I do not want to. One time we got stuck where we had no place else to eat. You weren't even born yet. Luke was only like 2 years old. It was December. It was freezing. It was, we had no choice. No restaurant would take us. We went in back there and we had to sit out on a bench out by like where the fountain is. And it was cold. And that's the problem with me saying, oh, we'll just go there for dinner because it's so good. We may not get someplace to sit. And by dinner time, I need to sit down.
But their pastries are also really great
Yes.
too. Like my mom said, they do have less pastries than they once
they
did.
used to.
Specifically after COVID, they really limited their menu
limited
after
it down.
COVID, which
Yes.
things happen, so it is what it is. But the pastries there are still so good. Like all the ones I've ever had have always been top
Yes.
notch. So
Fresh.
absolutely love
Everything is
it.
fresh.
Yeah, so definitely one of my top places. That is why I ranked it number one.
I think also that most
My
of these
favorite.
places, the turnover is so good that
Yeah.
you're really not stuck getting stale stuff. Like I've never
That's a good
never
point, too,
really,
yes.
I've never really got anything from any of these restaurants and said, oh my God, this is stale. I mean, it's just, I think because it's such a wild turnover, they have
Yeah.
a harder time keeping up with
they're always
the
making
inventory
fresh food, so
than
everything's always
than
fresh.
having it sitting there where nobody's eating it,
Yeah, no,
kind
definitely
of deal.
agree. That's a great point too. That's
Yes.
the same with like La Cantina as well. That's like the chips are always
Oh,
so
the stuff
hot
is
and
always
fresh.
moving. I mean,
like they're
it-
trying to keep up with all the people
Yes.
ordering chips.
Yeah, it is amazing that the volume of the food that goes through these places. But I have to say, I've never ever once said, oh, that was stale, or that was sitting around for a while, or, I didn't enjoy that. Everything I've had from any one of these places has been good.
Yeah, no, always so good, so fresh. Again, this is 14 quick service restaurants and kiosks in Epcot, and Epcot has 22 sit-down table service restaurants.
That's why Epcot is so much fun.
Yeah, that is so many options.
There's so much
And
to do, plus there's so much to
That's what I'm
eat.
saying. We're not even including the festival booths, the
No.
snack booths, the snack kiosks, the bars and lounges.
I know.
Like,
God, please, don't remind me.
I know Epcot has so many options. for
When
food
we
as
go, we
well.
can only go to Epcot like one day. We go to Epcot one day, Magic Kingdom one day.
Yeah,
this
it's like
one.
how much food
we
are you
only
gonna eat
spend
in
one
one
day.
day?
There's only so much food you can eat in one day. I don't eat that much. You can't. I don't eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean,
It's a lot
kind
of
of
food
deal.
to eat all in one day. So there's only so much. And if you're drinking around the world too, you're also
Oh, God.
drinking
Yeah, we don't do that.
liquids
Yes,
too. That
yes.
fills up your little tummy. So it's like, what are you supposed to do?
I know.
then?
How much could you do? You got to go there just for a week just to go through Epcot and taste all the food.
I know. It is why I'm jealous sometimes of the locals who do have the option to just like pop
Just to
in
go
and
pop in and just go get
like, do
something
one
from
thing one
France
day.
and, yeah.
Or they can do like when they do like the holiday cookie strolls.
You
Like, let's
could
just
just
get
do
one
that.
cookie one day and then like
know.
come back another day and do another cookie or something like that. Like all that fun stuff that I absolutely love. But
Right.
yeah, it's the perks of being Disney local. But when we're not there, that's why we never gotten that pretzel at Summerfest in
No,
June.
yeah, that's what I said. Sometimes we never get some of this stuff because we just can't fit it all in.
Yep.
And we do have our favorites. And when you have your favorites and you're tired and you're hungry and you know what you're going to go get,
Yeah, it's
sometimes you
familiar.
just pick
Yeah.
that because you know that it's going to make you happy.
I would love to know what is your ranking for the quick service restaurants in Epcot. So let us know which one's in your top 5, which one's in your bottom 5. Are you like crepes are my favorite thing in the world? How dare you poo-poo the crepes? I'm sure the crepes are great. I just am not a crepe person. That's why they're in my 14. Yeah, but I would love to know your ranking of them as well. Make sure you can let us know on our Instagram, which is Almost Amanda X. Will also be linked in the description below as well. But for now, this is where we normally transition to some Disney news. But there is no Disney news this week because we are pre-recording this episode. So I apologize about that. Any Disney news would be pretty outdated, honestly,
It's
at
been a
this
very
point.
busy summer.
Yes. So instead, we'll do some birthdays. So first up on September 11th is my Aunt Antoinette's birthday. So happy birthday to my Aunt Antoinette.
Happy birthday, Antoinette.
Then also on September 12th in 2005, Hong Kong Disneyland officially opened. So happy birthday to Hong Kong Disneyland, September 12th, 2005, which is super exciting too for Hong Kong Disneyland, because that means next year in 2025, they will be celebrating their 20th anniversary. I'm not sure if they're going to do anything big for their 20th anniversary.
They'll probably wait till
each
25.
Park, I was going to say, each park does something different. Although then we say that Disneyland Paris did a big thing for 25, and then they did a big thing for 32. So I was like, okay, well, whatever floats your boat, I guess, whatever money you have to invest into your celebrations. Yeah, so we'd love to see what Hong Kong Disneyland does next year for their 20th anniversary. And that leaves us with our final segment of the podcast, our Disney memory. So what is your Disney memory for today's podcast?
My Disney memory. Let's see. Let me think about all these places that we ate at. I would say my Disney memory is sitting in La Cantina by the bridge one time. One time it made me think of it because we loved that snack so much that we got stuck where we were really, 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 really hot, really, 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 really tired. And we were right across from the African where they play the drums and they sell the little, things. And we grabbed a table that had two chairs and we sat there under the umbrella and we were so hot. And Amanda said, we should have some chips and dip. And I'm like, but Amanda, that's all the way back in Mexico. She says, I'll get it. And she did. She ran all the way back there and got the chips and dip and brought them back to us at that table. And we sat there and ate our chips and dips and watched the people go by. It was so cool.
Yeah, no, it was great. That's a great little spot to sit down.
So when you think, that's what I thought of when I said, oh, La Cantina, not only do I like just being there and having it, we like, no matter where we are, it's good.
Yeah, in Lay Hall, one of my memories that I have is, again, I feel like we have a lot of memories in Lay Hall because you can't find a table. So you're suffering standing, trying to figure out, trying to eye the tables up and try to see where you can sit down and stuff like that. So trying to do that. But this is such a weird memory, honestly. But there are bathrooms in the Lay Hall. But I remember when I went to the bathroom, I thought it was going to be like normal bathrooms. They're not. They're actually family bathrooms. So it's only one room, basically. But it's a pretty big room. I remember I went in there, and I remember when I came out, there was a line of 10 people waiting outside the bathroom, and I didn't know that. Which I thought that was so funny because when I went there was no line at all. So I just walked right in. And I was just like, oh, it's just this one room. Okay. Like a little hidden bathroom back here. But when I left, it was so crowded. Everyone was waiting for this one bathroom. I felt kind of bad. I was just like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's like, well, I didn't know if everyone's going to be waiting. So when I got here, there's no one here. And I thought it was going to be stalls.
They're stuck in that little corner. It's just such a shame that I don't think they realized how many people were going to be eating there.
And it's one of those things where now I feel like they couldn't, because the items that are sold in that little shop that's right there.
They could just move them to one of the other shops.
That's the thing. Is I feel like the items aren't that drastically different because mainly in that area, that is where they have a lot of the Disney French items.
Yes.
So the mini with the Parisian stuff and things like that. And so I was trying to think, where could they put that where it's not there? And I'm not really sure. 100%.
I'm not really sure where they could put it. The only thing they have is the perfume shop.
Well, they have the perfume store, and then right outside that is where they have the cooking area where they sell the different wines and the cooking type of stuff. So that's why it's I don't know where else they would put their Disney French items. Otherwise, unless they just consolidated it more to the side and try to put a few more tables or something. I'm not really sure.
They do need more seating, unfortunately, because it is kind of very, very, very tight. And even once you come out of there, it's not like there's a lot of seating outside to sit down and eat. If you are sitting, you're sitting on the edge of the fountain and, it's kind of, tough.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's very tough to eat there, but everything is so good that you take the chance,
No, for sure. And I know a couple years back, they used to sell these canvases, these hand-painted canvases in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I have 3 of them. I bought 3 of the canvases that represented France. And it's funny because sometimes when you go, they're there and sometimes they're not. So I guess it just depends on the stock of when they get them or not.
Right.
I definitely suggest checking them out because the canvases are really nice.
They're pretty.
They were pretty expensive. I remember they were $20 for the tiniest one, but I love them. And
but it's like having a real painting on a canvas,
No, they look so nice.
Yeah.
But all right, thanks everyone for listening to this week's episode of the podcast. Again, remember to let us know what is your ranking of the Epcot quick service restaurants. Would love to know which ones are in your top 5, which ones are in your bottom 3, and also what do you order there? What is your favorite snacks or favorite meals to get? Your favorite drinks? We'd love to know so we can add it to our must-do list on our next trip. And again, make sure you give us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or if you're listening on YouTube, to leave a comment down